Hello, 8th graders. You're going to be working on section 8.8 today. Now, it's important to remember that this is going to be the surface area of the shapes that we were working on yesterday. And we got to remember that surface area is always going to be the outside, and volume will always be the inside. Surface area will always be labeled as something like meters squared. Volume will always be labeled as something like centimeters cubed. Okay, we're going to be working on surface area today, which is substantially more difficult. So we really got to make sure we're locked in, bring in good questions to class tomorrow. Okay. Okay, once again, we're working on pyramids here. And a pyramid looks like the shape on the left with the base on the bottom, each of these points on the outside being vertexes, and then this up here being the apex. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Now, I've drawn it like I've taken the apex and I folded back all of the stuff. Here's the bottom rectangle, and then each of these triangles on the outside. This thing right here, that's an L, okay? So it could also be drawn like that. And what that means is lateral height. And you'd ask, why don't we draw it with an H? Well, we already have an H in the picture. So the formula that we're going to be working with is right here. The surface area is equal to the area of the base, which is this rectangle, plus 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the lateral height. Okay, I want you to write this down because I don't want you to memorize this. Because to be honest, I have to look this up every year when I teach pyramids because I don't have these memorized. Okay, I think it's a little unrealistic. So write this formula down, write what each of these things means. Pause the video if you have to. Okay? So the cone here, now this looks like a 1, but this is a marking here. That means that's the length R. Once again, this is the apex, and so this is the height H, okay? And the formula for this is going to be incredibly similar. It's going to be the area of the base, which is the circle, plus pi times the radius times the height of the figure, okay? Now, it's a very similar to the pyramid what we've been working with before, but it's not quite exactly the same. So you got to write it down. Once again, I'm not asking you to memorize it. Just have it written down. Okay, we're learning how to use formulas, not memorize them. Okay? So we have the pyramid picture that we worked with last time, and the surface area is going to be equal to this formula here. If I can get it to copy. There we go. Surface area is equal to the base plus 1/2 times the perimeter times the depth. Well, the base we're going to do over here. That's a rectangle, so it's going to be 80 times 80, which is 6,400. And then we're going to go the 1/2 times perimeter times the lateral height. Well, the perimeter is 80 plus 80 plus 80 plus 80, which is going to be 320, sorry. So we'll go 1/2 times 320 times the lateral height, which is 100. That's going to be, whoops. Get it typed in here. That shouldn't be. Okay, so that's 1,600. We add those together to get a surface area of 8,000 meters squared. Squared because we're working in surface area. Okay? The goal here is we're learning how to use a formula correctly, not necessarily to memorize the formula or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to move on to this cone. So we need to find the surface area for it. Once again, remember that we're working in, we want everything to be in inches, so this is going to be changed to 12 inches. And the formula is the area of the base plus the, I think it's pi times r times L. Or I guess we called it H for this one. Let me just make sure I have that right. Yep. Remembering, once again, we're not trying to memorize the formulas, just to use them correctly. So our base is going to be pi times r squared, which is 18 squared. I do not have 18 squared memorized. 324 pi. So that means our surface area is going to be equal to 324 pi plus pi times our r, which is 18, times our height, which is 12, because we converted to inches. I do not know 18 times 12. $216. So that looks like our surface area is equal to 324 pi plus 216 pi. So we add the regular numbers together, and we get 440 pi. So that's an answer, and there we go. Also 1,328.3. Or is it 82? 82, sorry about that. So the label would be inches squared, because we're working in surface area. So those are our two answers. Okay, once again, there's the formula. We're simply plugging in pieces that we feel like are important. So that's all I want you to do for today. Okay, just to have those examples written down. We're going to go into class for spending at least a day on this, most likely two, and that's all right. Now, in order to get a grade for class tomorrow, you need to bring in the code word, and the code word is going to be pyramid. So somewhere on the top of your notes, you need to have the word pyramid written, and that's how you'll get points for tomorrow. Okay? We'll see everyone in class.